I don't plan on getting a tractor anytime soon, and here's 4 reasons why. Oh boy, would you look at that. Morning, cats. It was so cold last night, I decided to let the cats stay inside. I bet you guys are raring to go outside though, right? Out we go, come on.
Be good boy, be good girl.
All right, come on, you guys can watch me do chores, come on. Gotta go take care of the ducks. Now, I'm hoping to get out to the ducks just as they're laying their eggs because it's so cold this morning that I'm afraid they're gonna crack if I don't get out there at just the right time. It's like this delicate balance I've got to strike between waiting for them to actually lay the eggs and picking them up right after they lay and not after they sit there long enough for them to freeze. All right, let's hope you work, hydrant. Come on, big water. Let's go, big water. Come on, water. Yeah. I'm not even gonna bother to try to fill up their pool today because it's so cold that it would probably freeze like after 20 minutes, and so that to me just isn't worth it. So there is something today that I want to talk to you guys about related to our farms and our plans for the farm. I've been getting a lot of emails and comments on it, so I figured it'd be good to address it. Good morning, ducks. See if we got any eggs. Oh, there's one egg right here. Perfect timing, not frozen. Hang on to that. Oh, one more egg. This one feels not frozen. This is good. Look at this. This is freshly laid. I can feel how warm it is. Good timing. Not such good timing on this one. They're crazy. Regardless of the temp, they just want to bury themselves in water. Come on. Well, they actually look pretty happy. Now that they got some fresh hay, fresh water. Yeah, they're doing pretty good. Thank God for these rubber buckets. I don't know how I would keep these ducks if I didn't have these rubber thingies here. Whew. So actually, before I talk to you guys about the main thing I wanted to talk about, I did want to talk about our Scarecrow. A little while back, I actually had a contest to help name our Scarecrow, and I'm pleased to announce that Rosanna is the winner of that contest. She has come up with Plain Jane the Scarecrow, and I kind of like it. It sort of suits her. So congratulations, Rosanna. I'm going to send you an official Goldshaw Farm t-shirt. It's going to be one of those new Release the Quackin' editions. If you guys want to buy one yourself, you can check out the link that I have down below. But congratulations, Rosanna, and everybody please meet Plain Jane. Whew. All right, it is cold and I gotta make this quick. So I've been receiving a lot of comments and questions from you guys about tractors. Stuff like, when are you gonna get a tractor? You should really get a tractor. Your life would be way easier if you got a tractor. Dude, why no tractor? I always really appreciate when I get comments and suggestions and feedback from you guys in the comments. In fact, I find that some of the best innovations and improvements I've made with stuff I'm doing here on the farm has been a result of comments from you. So please don't stop giving comments because I'm pushing back on this comment. So just know that. But I will say, I don't plan on getting a tractor anytime soon. And here's 4 reasons why. So reason number 1 is all about the fact that our farm is not profitable right now. And a tractor is really, really expensive. They could cost you for a new one that we'd probably need around here like $40,000 or $50,000. Get a used one for maybe 20 or 30, or I can get a junker for like 10. And for starters, that is not just money I have kicking around in my back pocket ready to go. That would be a significant financial strain. And even if I could cobble together the money necessary to make a down payment, that would put an ongoing financial strain on me for sure. And when you look at the profit and loss statement of our farm right now, we ain't making much money. In fact, we're losing just a little bit of money. And that's okay. When you're a farm startup, that's part of the process. You gotta make investments in infrastructure, you gotta give yourself some time to get established. That's part of having a good business plan. But if I think about our ongoing projections, and if I think about where I hope to be this time next year from a financial perspective with the farm, and I think about where I want to be 3 years from now with the farm, a tractor would completely blow up our P&L statement. It would put us in a position where it would be exceptionally difficult to be financially sustainable. And as you guys know, my life's passion is to try to build a sustainable farm in Vermont, one that is sustainable from an environmental perspective, one that's sustainable from an emotional perspective, and one that's sustainable from an economic perspective. And my concern is that on our current trajectory and based on our current plans, a tractor and the purchase of the infrastructure of a tractor wouldn't be financially sustainable. And in fact, it would force us into debt. And we're really trying to establish our farm without any debt. I'm in the process of rereading The Grapes of Wrath right now. I read it in high school, haven't touched it in about 20 years. And so to pick that book up and start going through it again, it's kind of amazing to see some of the things that I completely overlooked and didn't really think about as a high schooler. But now that I'm here trying to start my own farm, there's some exceptionally salient points about the impact that tractors have on the land, as well as the impact that debt has on farmers. And I'm really trying to take those lessons to heart as I start up our farm here in Vermont. Reason number 2, I think that to really have a tractor, you need to know how to manage the tractor and use the tractor, and it's a whole skill set unto itself. And you also need to have a certain level of mechanical prowess. I could probably buy some sort of ancient machine that would require a fair amount of mechanical work. And right now I just lack the skills. Like, I've never been able to change the oil on my car. I never was all that adept with machinery and working on stuff. I'm learning and I'm trying to do things. Like, for example, with our ATV, I'm trying to do some of the maintenance myself, and it's going okay and I'm growing. But I think that if I were to try to take on the maintenance of a tractor, I would be in way over my head. I would spend way too much time trying to figure out what's going on and trying to fix what's going on, or spending way too much money trying to fix what's going on. And it would become an amazing emotional drag for me. And I don't think I'd be all that successful. Another thing I'm really striving to do here as I start up the farm is do it in a way where I'm not burning myself out and I'm not trying to take on too much at once. That's why we have a very long tail, multi-year plan. And adding maintenance of tractors to understanding how to take care of an orchard, or understanding how to raise some ducks, or trying to think about some of the other things that we're exploring right now, that's a tough row to hoe, you know? Reason number 3, I did this exercise a little while back where I sat down and I wrote down a list of all the tasks that I had to do that were gonna require a tractor. I mean, specifically the things I would need to do, as well as the number of days each year I would need to do them. And I'm talking about the things that you really need to do. I'm not talking about the things where, oh, it would be fun to use a tractor or it'd make my life significantly easier to use a tractor. I'm saying like stuff that you could not do if you did not have a tractor. And that exercise was very helpful, because what it got down to as I realized it, there's probably only about 7 or 8 days a year that I need to have a tractor here to do work. Now this situation might not apply to everybody. For us here in northern Vermont, in a really rural agricultural community, I could go within a 2-mile radius of our farm and find 6 different farmers who have large tractors who would either be willing to loan me their tractor, rent me their tractor, or be hired out to come here and do work on my farm with their tractor. And when I looked at the cost of doing something like that and paying people fairly to do that and help me out versus the annual ownership cost of a tractor, it just like doesn't even compare. It's a totally different spectrum. I would much rather get engaged with other farmers in my community and leverage their infrastructure and pay them fairly than have to pay for tractor maintenance, pay for the cost of a loan on a tractor, and also to think about the depreciation of owning a tractor-like asset on the balance sheet of a business. Just to give you an example of how this plays out, one of the things I'm in the process of doing right now is I am researching the feasibility of trying to grow, I don't know, about 20 acres of hemp on our upper pasture. Now that hemp is entirely legal and the state of Vermont has some great opportunities to support hemp growers, and our soil is an ideal situation for growing hemp. So right now I'm exploring the idea of doing that. But the way that I would do it would be, not investing in all the infrastructure, not buying a lot of stuff as startup costs. What I'm trying to do is actually find a local farmer here whom I could partner with, where we would leverage their infrastructure and I'd provide some capital for the seed and other things, as well as doing the legwork to figure out what needs to be done. And so they have, large equipment that they use for growing cow corn for their dairy operations, just sort of sitting there a lot of the time. If there's a way that we could partner together and leverage that to grow hemp, that would just be a tremendous win-win opportunity for everybody involved. And so, I'm exploring something like that. And as I'm thinking about the business case for an idea like that right now, if I were to add the acquisition cost of a tractor on top of it all, it would totally blow up the business case and it wouldn't make any sense to do. So looking for that partnership to leverage tractors that are already in the area is a big part of my strategy. And reason number 4 comes down to this. I don't think owning a tractor is going to make me any happier than I am today. There have been times in my life where I would look at the purchase of something, whether it was like, oh, I need to buy this house, or I want to buy this camera, or I want to buy this jacket, or I should buy this type of car. And I would look at the purchases of these things as a way to improve my life and make me happy. And what I've started to come to terms with over the last year or so is buying that stuff is never going to make you happy. Buying that new thing that would be fun and cool to play with and would be an interesting toy, it's never going to fix that thing inside of you, that sort of that craving and longing for happiness. And I would worry that I might be buying a tractor just because I think it would be something that would be fun to have and it would be something that would make me happy. But when you buy stuff to satisfy that urge, it only makes you want to buy more stuff. And it's this cycle that never ends of desire, purchase, desire, purchase, desire, purchase, desire, purchase. And part of what I'm trying to do with my life right now is break out of that cycle. And I feel like maybe denying myself a tractor might actually help do that a bit. And it might make me appreciate what I've got on hand. It might make me more resourceful and creative in how I do things that might require the tractor. And it's gonna make me grow a bit. And if a couple years down the road, an opportunity to get a tractor at a really good price that makes sense for the farm business pops up and falls on my lap, I'm definitely gonna take it. It's not like I'm gonna kick it away. It's not like I know that if I'm gonna grow this farm and scale it up, that I probably won't eventually need a tractor. But it's just that I'm not gonna go out there to satisfy that itch of buying that tractor. And I'd push anybody out there who's watching this video, even if you don't have a farm or have no interest in farming, to really think about that. When there's something that you want out there, something people are saying that you should get, really challenge the reason why and push yourself to say, am I doing this because I think it makes me happy? And if that's the case, you might really want to step back and think about it, because the thing rarely ever makes you happy. And that is my rant on why I'm not getting tractors. Go watch some other video, hit the subscribe button, go about your day, and I'll see you guys here next time on Goldshaw Farm, where we're trying to build a farm in Vermont.